Hi, I'm Ahmad Hamdan and you're tuned into Nightline, the top stories. Respect Apex Court's Sharia enactment ruling, says Selangor Sultan. An Amman-Palestine duo charged with 161 counts of graft involving 40 million ringgit. We begin the bulletin with the 2024 Indonesian election. Wednesday's exit poll results have indicated an early victory for Prabowo Subianto and Gibran Rakabuming Raka based on quick count ballots nationwide. However, the official results will only be known after detailed and phased manual counting by the Indonesian General Election Commission (KPU). Any potential disputes can be raised at the Indonesian Constitutional Court once the official results are announced next month. According to the quick count results, the long-time presidential hopeful had secured a strong lead for a single-round win with 58% of the vote, even surpassing the electoral record previously set by incumbent Joko Widodo. This was not surprising, considering the Prabowo-Gibran duo is seen as a formidable partnership in the polls.
Yang surprising adalah bahwa di atas prediksi kita, kalau kita memprediksi sekitar 55-56, ini kan 58 saat ini ya posisinya. Nah itu yang kita agak beda sedikit beberapa persen. Tetapi kita sendiri sudah memprediksi bahwa dia meninggalkan jauh ya, karena 50% lebih. Kelas menengah atas ini memiliki concern dan isu di mana masyarakat bawah tidak terlalu memahami itu. Misalnya masalah-masalah politik dinasti, masalah bantuan sosial ya. Bantuan sosial ini masyarakat kelas bawah tidak terlalu banyak berpikir tentang itu. Rata-rata masyarakat senang saja dapat bantuan sosial kan, tidak terlalu kompleks berpikirnya untuk mengaitkan bahwa ini adalah pelanggaran etika.
Meanwhile, Prabowo's rivals Anies Baswedan and Ganjar Pranowo have reported receiving complaints about vote manipulation during Wednesday's polling process. The election supervisory agency Bawaslu also noted similar instances at some polling stations. There were also issues with overseas votes, including those in Kuala Lumpur, concerning the accuracy of the electoral roll and verification of voters compared to the processes followed in Indonesia. On Wednesday night, Bawaslu also recommended a re-vote of ballots that used postal votes and mobile ballot boxes after finding the Kuala Lumpur Foreign Election Committee had committed administrative violations during the presidential election process. The official results of the 2024 Indonesia election are expected to be announced on March 20th. Meanwhile, incumbent President Joko Widodo, or Jokowi, said on Thursday he had congratulated Prabowo for his victory. Jokowi, however, emphasized the need to wait for the official results from the General Election Commission in March.
Ketemu langsung udah. Kapan Pak? Malam ya? Malam. Tapi apapun kita harus menunggu hasil resmi dari KPU. Jadi sabar.
Prabowo's running mate is Jokowi's eldest son, Gibran Rakabuming Raka, who is set to be the youngest vice president in Indonesia's history. In the meantime, spokesperson for Prabowo's rivals, ex-governors Anies Baswedan and Ganjar Pranowo, have said they would probe allegations of systematic and massive fraud during the polling session, but so far have yet to provide evidence for the accusations.
In the meantime, Jakarta residents said they were both hopeful and uncertain regarding the exit poll that indicates early victory for Prabowo.
Ya, semoga semua yang terlibat di pemerintahan tidak melakukan sesuatu yang melanggar demokrasi gitu. Karena sekarang juga udah era modern. Semoga semua yang menjadi pemimpin nantinya bisa melakukan tugasnya dengan baik.
Kalau dilihat dari quick count, ya quick count kan bukan hasil resmi dari KPU sih ya. Untuk sekarang sih masih nunggu hasil resmi dari KPU aja sih. Bisa jadi 2 putaran karena dari tim ses yang lain juga punya klarifikasi masing-masing sih sebenarnya sih. Nanti ya kita tunggu aja hasil resmi dari KPU.
Now, Indonesian stocks jumped in early trading as traders bet on policy continuity after Prabowo declared victory in Wednesday's presidential vote. The Jakarta Composite Index rose as much as 2.2%, the most since May 2022, after the ex-general secured nearly 60% support in quick counts done by private pollsters. The iShares MSCI Indonesia ETF meanwhile rallied 2.4% in the US on Wednesday, the biggest one-day gain in 3 months. A swift victory for Prabowo is likely to remove the uncertainty that would arise from a prolonged election and may draw more foreign inflows into Indonesian equities and bonds. The Takaful industry braced for impact as we decode innovations, trends and game-changing insights that will redefine the approach to financial security. An exclusive journey into the heart of Malaysia's Takaful industry with Takaful Malaysia's Group CEO Nur Azman Zainal at 5 p.m. this Saturday on TV3 and stream also on Tonton. Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, has urged everyone to respect the federal court's decision to strike down 16 provisions in the Kelantan Sharia Criminal Court enactment on grounds that they are unconstitutional. The Sultan, who chairs the National Council of Islamic Religious Affairs, MKI, said that the federal constitution must be upheld by all Malaysians as the supreme law of the land.
Usaha ini termasuklah mengkaji sekiranya ada keperluan dan mencadangkan pidana kepada peruntukan tertentu pelembatan persekutuan dan atau undang-undang persekutuan yang berkaitan bagi memastikan kuasa badan perundangan negeri untuk mengubah undang-undang jenayah syariah termaktub secara jelas dalam perlembagaan persekutuan tanpa sebarang kekaburan.
Sultan Sharafuddin said this when presiding over the 71st MKI meeting in Putrajaya on Thursday. The ruler further said that a special committee, established in August last year to review issues surrounding the competency of the state legislative assemblies to enact Sharia laws, is presently looking into the consequential issues arising from last Friday's federal court decision. The Sultan added that the special committee was given a year from the date of its establishment to present their findings and recommendations to the MKI, which would present them to the Conference of Rulers for consideration and approval. Sultan Sharafuddin also stressed that the administration of Islamic religious affairs in the country must be free from political influence and called on all quarters, especially the Muslim community, to stay calm and not create disputes while waiting for the recommendations from the special committee. Now, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said Sultan Sharafuddin's decree reflected the ruler and the MKI's seriousness in defending the spirit and principles of the federal constitution. As such, the Prime Minister wants all parties to cease political disputes regarding the issue surrounding the federal court's decision.
Keputusan Mahkamah Persekutuan itu, menurut Tuanku Sultan Selangor, dihormati kerana Mahkamah Persekutuan tunduk kepada hukum dan semangat perlembagaan. Tidak timbul nak meringankan atau meremehkan kedudukan Mahkamah Syariah. Stability means all Malaysians, irrespective of race, religion or creed, must respect this, not only the Constitution but the spirit of the Constitution. That this country, majority of whom are Malays, adequate provision to protect the interests of the Malays and the language and the Malay rulers and the privileges, but this constitution protect the right of every single citizen in this country.
Anwar said this in his address at the Chinese New Year celebration hosted by the Associated Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. He also said if there are any suggestions or new views to strengthen the Sharia laws in the country, they can be referred to the special committee to review the competency of the state legislative assemblies to enact Islamic laws, chaired by former Chief Justice Tun Zaki Tun Azmi. Meanwhile, the Selangor state government said it will uphold Sultan Sharafuddin's decree for everyone to respect the federal court's decision. Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari said the ruler is taking the matter seriously as there are parties trying to politicize the issue.
Saya selaku Menteri Besar Negeri Selangor menjunjung tinggi di atas titah Duli Aman Mulia Tuanku yang melihat isu ini kepada isu perlembagaan dan urusan pentadbiran negara dan pentadbiran syariah berbanding dengan politisasi isu yang dimainkan oleh setengah pihak yang sudah kekeringan idea.
Speaking after attending a gathering for the Malaysian Civil Defence Force in Shah Alam, Amiruddin added that the state government will always follow the guidelines set by the federal constitution in drafting any new provision for state enactment. The state government, he said, will also fully support the federal government's decision to amend the federal constitution in order to strengthen the Sharia enactment. Now, two of Ahmad Palestine Berhad's top executives were among 3 individuals charged in the Shah Alam Sessions Court on Thursday with 164 counts of criminal breach of trust, CBT, cheating and money laundering involving tens of millions of ringgit of the company's funds. The trio, however, pleaded not guilty to all the charges, which were read out before Judge Dato' Anita Harun. The NGO's executive chairman, 58-year-old Abdullah Zaid Abdul Rahman, and its CEO, 52-year-old Awang Sufian Awang Piut, who were entrusted with control over the property of Ahmad Palestine, were each slapped with 52 counts of CBT involving 20.9 million ringgit between March 12, 2018 and November 3rd last year. The duo, in their capacity as directors of Samudra Champa Sdn Berhad, were also charged with 19 counts of money laundering involving 12.8 million ringgit to purchase luxury vehicles, shop lots, factory warehouses and plots of land nationwide. Both were also jointly charged with 19 counts of cheating by deceiving the trustees of Ahmad Palestine Berhad into handing over 39.1 million ringgit to Samudra Champa for the purchase of gold, whereby the price was actually lower between September 24, 2021 and July 14 last year. Meanwhile, another Samudra Champa director, Khairuddin Muhammad Ali, is facing 3 charges of money laundering totaling 6 million ringgit to purchase shop lots and factory houses. The court granted the trio bail, with Khairuddin set at 200,000 ringgit, while Abdullah Zaid and Awang Sufian were asked to pay 1 million ringgit each. They were also required to surrender their passports to the court, which also set March 13th for case mention. The Inland Revenue Board, IRB, will monitor information on individuals with offshore accounts to ensure that they pay their taxes. Its Chief Executive Officer, Dato' Dr. Abu Tariq Jamaluddin, said such measures were based on information received periodically from tax authorities across the world. He said checks and intelligence will be conducted to ensure that taxes are paid for all offshore savings, if such savings are derived from activities within Malaysia, and if there is any indications of tax non-compliance, the case will be channeled to the Audit and Investigation Team for further action. The IRB would also check the individual's offshore accounts and domestic assets before comparing it with their tax declaration. On another matter, Abu Tariq said the IRB has received nearly 65,000 voluntary declarations with a total assessment value of over 573 million ringgit from new and existing taxpayers through the Special Voluntary Declaration Program 2.0 as of January 31st this year. United Kingdom tips into recession in blow to Rishi Sunak. News from the foreign front when we return.
Money Matters is back with a new season. Your key insights into finance. Money Matters. Every Saturday, 5 p.m. Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Awak bayangkan, saya hadap benda tu setiap hari tau. Saya hadap sendiri.
Seringkali tertanya, adakah kau juga merasa?
My Lovely Driver, mulai 16 Februari, setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat 7 malam. Terbaharu di Akasia TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. Zionist forces stormed the main hospital in southern Gaza on Thursday, just hours after Israeli fire killed a patient and wounded 6 others inside the complex. Gaza's health ministry spokesperson Ashraf al-Qidra said the regime had launched a massive incursion with heavy shooting that wounded many of the displaced people who had sheltered there. He added the military had ordered medics to move all patients into an older building that was not properly equipped for their treatment. The raid came a day after the army sought to evacuate thousands of displaced people who had taken shelter at the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis. Zionist attacks on Gaza have killed at least 28,576 Palestinians and wounded 68,291 others. Meanwhile, world leaders are ratcheting up pressure on Israel to abandon its plans for a ground offensive in Rafah as an exodus is underway. As Israel stepped up its airstrikes and artillery fire, Australia, Canada and New Zealand issued a joint statement on Thursday calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, warning that Israel's planned operation would have a devastating impact on the Palestinians taking refuge in the area. The prime ministers of all 3 countries, Anthony Albanese, Justin Trudeau and Christopher Luxon, said there is simply nowhere else for civilians to go and added that Israel must listen to its friends. Spain and Ireland also applied pressure on Israel on Wednesday, asking the European Commission to urgently review whether Israel is complying with its human rights obligations. In a joint letter, the Prime Ministers of Spain and Ireland, Pedro Sanchez and Leo Varadkar, said that attacking Rafah posed a grave and imminent threat that the international community must urgently confront. The United Kingdom slipped into a technical recession in the second half of last year after its economy registered 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. The Office for National Statistics, ONS, said in a statement on Thursday that Britain's gross domestic product GDP shrank by 0.3% in the last 3 months of 2023, after contracting 0.1% in the third quarter. The ONS said the fall in GDP in the fourth quarter of 2023 was the biggest since the first 3 months of 2021. They added that economic output dropped by 0.1% in monthly terms in December after 0.2% growth in November. The Bank of England has said it expects it to pick up slightly in 2024, but slow growth this year would still represent a difficult backdrop for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's attempts to woo voters ahead of a national election expected later this year. Shortly after the GDP data release, the sterling weakened moderately against the US dollar and the euro. national men's badminton team cruise into quarterfinals. Sports after this breather.
Learn strategies for staying ahead in the financial battlefield. Your key insights into finance, money matters every Saturday 5 p.m. only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Kes jenayah seksual kanak-kanak semakin lama semakin membimbangkan. Memaparkan gambar anak-anak di sosial media ni sebenarnya mengundang bahaya. Adakah ibu bapa yang patut dipersalahkan?
Cuaca panas mampu mengundang pelbagai penyakit. Jaga-jaga di luar sana.
Perasan tak harga street food lebih mahal berbanding harga di kedai makanan?
Dan soal wang, wasiat dan faraid semuanya di MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi hanya di TV3.
Dan stream juga secara HD di aplikasi Tonton.
이번에 한국에서 패션 대회가 열리는데
Just one now, nothing more.
Wah, perututnya lengan dia. Jago gusti tangan ni jangan main-main. Sampai terbang ke Korea demi mencari kemenangan. Tapi... Kencang! Lain pula yang dia jumpa. Champion Jumaat ini 10 malam di TV3 Cinema dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. Sports athletics. National athlete Muhammad Faiz Haizat Rosdi clinched the gold medal at the 2024 World Para-Athletics Grand Prix on Wednesday. The 2022 ASEAN Para Games silver medalist emerged as champion of the T38 400 meters event when he clocked 56.84 seconds at the tournament. The silver and bronze medals went to Andreas Beros from Cyprus and Antonio Kosmat from Croatia. Meanwhile, Muhammad Ahmad Aiman Nurazmi also brought cheers to the national athletics camp after securing the silver medal for the 400 meters T20 event by clocking 50.16 seconds, while elite athlete Eddie Burnett took the podium after winning the bronze medal in the long jump T42, T44, T61 event with a leap of 6.42 meters. On to badminton, the 2024 Badminton Asia Team Championships. The men's national team cruised into the quarterfinals after winning against Chinese Taipei 3-1 to emerge as Group B champions on Thursday.
Former All-England champion Li Zijia grabbed the first point for Malaysia after defeating Lee Chin-yi in straight sets 21-16, 21-13. Men's doubles pair Aaron Chia So Yik, however, went down 21-23, 17-21 to Lee Hihui Li Yang. Leong Junhao restored the lead for the team in the men's singles event after overcoming Lee Chia-hao 21-19, 21-17. Goses Fei Izzuddin Ramsani then confirmed the winning point for Malaysia after trouncing Wang Qilin Yang Po Han 21-19, 21-14. Malaysia will next take on Singapore in the quarter-final.
Meanwhile, the national women's team are through to the quarterfinals as Group Y runners-up after losing 4-1 to Thailand. World Junior Champion Goh Jin Wei, despite having a better head-to-head record, lost 13-21, 24-26 to Supanida Katetong. Nevertheless, hopes were high on Malaysia's #1 women's doubles pair, Pearly Tan M. Tina, to level the tie, but the former French Open champion succumbed 22-20, 15-21, 19-21 to world #10, Jongkolpan Kiti Tarakul Rawinda Prajongjai. The national team's hope of finishing top in the group went up in smoke when K. Lachana went down 17-21, 18-21 to Thai veteran Busanan Ong Bam Rungpan. In the second doubles, the scratch combination of Tan Jingyi, Teo Mei Sing suffered a 17-21, 18-21 defeat to Benyapa Aimsat Nuntaka Aimsat, while in the final singles match, 20-year-old Wong Ling Ching saved Malaysia some face with a 21-19, 15, 21, 21-16 win over Ponchipa Kiwong. Malaysia will next have to face one of the top 4 seeded teams in the quarterfinals on Friday. When Nightline returns, suspect in burning of police vehicle nabbed.
Kami ni memang perempuan, tapi jangan pandang sebelah mata ya. Sekali-sekala menangis sikit tu biasalah kan.
우리 엄마가 그랬거든.
Kadang-kadang tu cair juga kalau ada si dia.
나 무슨 무서워.
Saksikan My Lovely Driver setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat 7 malam dan My Lovely Boxer setiap Selasa hingga Khamis 11 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Exploring an exciting new financial potential. Your key insights into finance. Money Matters every Saturday 5 p.m. only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Hello. Macam mana boleh jadi macam ni? Hotel ni pengotor sangat.
Ini adalah surat terminate 24 jam.
Yang penting kita kena selesaikan masalah ni juga.
Tak pernah lagi ada orang masak depan lobi.
Tak ada cara lain ke untuk kita selesaikan masalah ni?
Berapa pun harganya, saya bayar.
Check in untuk jenaka 5 bintang dengan Boleh Saya Bantu setiap Khamis hingga Sabtu 9 malam. Terbaru di Lestari TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Tiba cuti sekolah teringat zaman dulu-dulu.
Pelbagai nostalgia yang tak dapat dilupakan pada musim cuti sekolah.
Petang-petang dapat makan roti jala popiah basah sedapnya.
Jom kita lihat menu minum petang.
Ada orang tak tahu tetap kata dia tahu.
Mungkin takut diketepikan.
Semakin berusia, semakin pelupa.
Jangan main pasal lupa ketahui tentang demensia pada Khamis.
Hikayat perkahwinan ada yang cemburu ke tu?
Jangan sampai jadi masalah.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
ataupun stream secara HD di Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Welcome back. A 26-year-old delivery rider has been arrested for allegedly vandalizing a bus stop and setting an auxiliary police car on fire near the Mutiara Damansara MRT station in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Fakhruddin Abdul Majid said they received a report of the incident at about 1:52 a.m. on Thursday. Police managed to track down the individual to a house in Flora Damansara at about 12 p.m. and arrested the suspect. Several items believed to be related to the incident were also seized during the arrest. The motive for the incident is believed to be the suspect's dissatisfaction with the government and police. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for mischief by fire. It was reported that the suspect had posted a 5-second video on TikTok claiming responsibility for the act by throwing a Molotov bomb at the auxiliary police vehicle. The clip showed a man clad in a black t-shirt, wearing a helmet and posing with a peace sign in front of the burning car. The suspect also vandalized a bus stop wall with vulgar words at the scene. In Kedah, a lorry driver who was involved in a road crash that claimed the lives of 3 soldiers on the North-South Expressway on February 2nd pleaded not guilty to a charge of dangerous driving in the Gurun Magistrates Court on Thursday. 31-year-old Muhammad Huzaifa Azhari claimed trial to the offence, which led to the deaths of Lance Corporal Muhammad Hafiz Haris, Sergeant Rozali Abdul Rani and Corporal Muhammad Asri Idris, aged between 30 and 40. The charge, framed under the Road Transport Act, provides imprisonment of not more than 10 years and a fine of up to 20,000 ringgit if convicted. Magistrate Anis Suraya Ahmad allowed the accused bail of 10,000 ringgit with one surety and ordered the suspension of his driver's license. She also set March 6 for mention. Previously, it was reported that 3 military personnel died in an accident involving 4 vehicles, including 3 military lorries and an Isuzu lorry. In the incident, all 3 victims were confirmed dead at the scene due to severe injuries to the head and body limbs. And that wraps up this edition of Nightline. We leave you with visuals of red harlequins taking to the streets of Venezuela's Colonia Tovar to celebrate Carnival, a local tradition that every year revives and preserves the community's German roots. With that, I'm Ahmad. Hamdan. Thanks for tuning in and stay safe.